I'm gonna build a fully decorated top 75 solo extreme demon that I have to verify, and I'm not even lying. But how the heck will I pull this off? I take months and even years to beat levels like Sonic Wave and Yatagarasu, so how do I expect to verify something way harder than Tartarus? How am I gonna build a fully decorated 3-minute level with some of my most ambitious decoration ideas, including animations? Well, all I can say is just trust me, bro. This will at least take several months to build a level, but the verification can make it take years. I don't know. To make matters worse, the demon list moves so fast that the longer I take, the harder I have to make the level if I still want it to be mainless, so if I don't hurry it, I'd have to make this nearly impossible. On top of that, I've never built a level this long before, so on top of all the highly ambitious deco ideas I have, I need to make it look as cool as possible for a whole 3 minutes. So it's safe to say this is beyond the most ambitious thing I've ever tried, and it could take ages. I always dreamed of creating really cool top extreme demons and verifying them, and I want this level to be my first attempt working towards an impossible pipe dream. I will super buff this level as much as possible. This level is meant to destroy me and push my skills far beyond what I thought I was capable of, and I'm curious to see how hard I can make it, but I'm also terrified. The good news is this level's difficulty is more length based, so I don't have to squash together inhumane wave gaps and frame perfects that I can't comprehend to achieve the desired difficulty, because length based difficulty is always more accessible to simple humans like me. With all that being said, let's log in and begin by far the biggest journey I've ever embarked on in Geometry Dash. Well, here we go. This is where it all begins. Go slow speed minicube, I guess. Placing the first blocks of a project that I know is going to take at least months and possibly even years is an insane feeling. This is where it all begins. I'm gonna do a few head hitter clicks right here. I just already know how much we're going to be playing this exact cube part in the future. I'm going to be spending a lot of time here. Alright, now we got this gameplay here, so let's go buff it. Okay, let's see this. I made the first click impossible. Awesome. I've never been this excited to start a level before. I've also never been this scared to start a level before. I've had this exact idea of verifying my own mainless demon for months. I was honestly just really scared to start it because I know this is going to be a huge commitment. I don't know how I'm going to pull all this off, but I kind of just have to have faith in myself that I'll figure it out. Alright, we got our base gameplay here. Okay, yeah. There are some timings here that are just, this timing here is ass. And then these timings are also like way too easy. Honestly, the way I'm making the difficulty is really just a mystery. This could be way harder than a main list, could be easier, I don't know. Lots of balancing will need to be done while still keeping it as hard as I can. Now, as y'all might know, I like to do a little bit of structuring during my layout. So yeah, we're designing some rough ideas for what some rocks would theoretically look like. If you're wondering what the theme of the level is and what the deco is about, I'll kind of reveal that to you more as we go on. But I have some really ambitious ideas for a few parts of this level that'll be really hard to make in the future. I want to animate a few things, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I just realized these trees should probably be dead. I add some ship in a robot to switch it up a little bit here. I'm having a bit of trouble figuring out the flow of this part. Alright, so we got a straight fly to put over here. By the way, pretty certain we're gonna go with this name, Wrath of the Phantom. As I said earlier, it'll make more sense as we go along. Yeah, this robot part's just gonna have to be like ultra nerfed or else it's just gonna suck. This structuring is supposed to be like a tree, but right now it looks literally nothing like that. Thanks to this being a 3-minute level, there's 14 parts I have to make. We're not even done with part 1. This is gonna take a lot of videos. Now we're gonna add a pulse here, make everything a bit darker. Then we gotta make these colors match with their corresponding object. Okay, so these colors right now suck, so we're gonna have to adjust this a lot. Anyways, I had no idea what I was doing with the colors for this part, so I just hopped off for the day. Alright, it is day 2 of this. So for making layouts, we gotta add some camera work, match with the song. We're gonna add some shake triggers wherever it feels right. I thought this part would be cool to have a silhouette effect, so I made that using a lens circle trigger. So now this part is gonna be a bit more of a graveyard, you'll see later on after decorating. This is going to be another one of the tree structures. It definitely looks like a tree. Well, this ship look is kind of difficult. I think I'll try to add a dash orb here. Let's see how that'll go. We have finished up part 1 of gameplay. I'm trying to finish one part every 2 days if possible, and so far we're ahead of track, thankfully. Alright, so anytime we make this super buffed, difficult gameplay, we actually gotta play it and see if it's fine. As I structure this part, I'm gonna try to actually like make the structure represent what it's gonna be. Making the structure more detailed will actually save me a lot of time of decorating in the future. I'm pretty sure. It will extend our quote-unquote layout process, but it should be worth it. Alright, that's gonna be about all for today. We will be back soon. I think what I'm gonna do here is gonna create more of the gameplay first. Once again, get on our Hitbox's trail and always record a macro. I think this is the best method for like making gameplay. We just place down our base gameplay objects. I'm gonna try to record my favorite click pattern and buff it to that, I think. But I can't just mindlessly hug spikes around the Hitbox trail like I did in this video. I'm trying to avoid as much setup based clicks here as possible and give the players momentum spots to reset. So we got our objects laid out right off the bat. I do not think it is fine to play, so we're gonna fix that. I won't know if this all plays well until actually getting it hit and runs. But for now, I'll fix anything that's obviously bad. And the cycle renews. We will keep doing this for every single part. Next, we're adding some very difficult ship and strafe fly to switch things up. I'm currently not very good at ships, so I feel like this will be a pretty big choke point. These gaps do look a little bit tight. Yeah, structuring this is really difficult. Making the level this hard and trying to make clean and cool structuring, it's quite the challenge. All right, now we have this part. We're gonna have some nice, very challenging cube timings here. I just want to look out how these gaps look. They actually don't look that bad. I'm still in a pickle how I should make the structuring look, so we're gonna have to use our brains quite a bit here, and I had to put our thinking caps on. So I tried adding a pretty good amount of detail here, and it was turning out pretty well. Okay, so we got some dead oak trees here. I think that's what they're called. I don't know. I think all of this complicated structuring should be worth it. All right, well, it's getting very late, and I'm quite tired, and my eyes are hurting looking at the screen too much. I think we'll finish this part up tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll try my best. On day 4, it was more of the structuring grind. Also, optimize our objects while we're at it. Like, we can just stretch this line instead of having 4 of them. I'm gonna add like this sharp end to the fence. Yep, you guessed it. This was quite time consuming. Anyways, I didn't really build much more on day 4. I don't remember why exactly. I just didn't. All right, we are back for, I think, day 5. I'm a bit behind where I want to be here. Now we're gonna have this part go from sunset to nighttime, so let's do that. So using some pulse triggers and edit color triggers, I was able to get this effect I wanted. All right, I think this part is about done. Let's start doing our gameplay for this section. Now we got a bit of a faster pace part. We're gonna use a lot of orb timings here, and then now we will buff it. We're gonna make it a little bit extra confusing. Like, we'll add a few bonus routes that, you know, will actually just kill you. That's right, we're making somewhat of a memory part here. We're all falling for these fake orbs. I really don't like how this click just kills you way after you do it. All right, these last clicks of the part are too easy, but then some of the first clicks are kind of weird and jank. I am kind of worried for the gameplay of this level. Making a good playing mainless extreme demon is going to be way harder than making a good playing easy extreme demon or anything. I'm kind of worried it's going to feel like a lot of random difficult clicks just mixed in with some easy free ones. And I don't know if that's acceptable or if that's bad or if it's normal for a list demon. I don't know. Yeah, right off the bat, we're definitely going to need some major nerfs here. Even if I buffer this as early as possible, it's still impossible. Once again, we're adding an impossible ship section. So we got a lot of straight flying here because, you know, like the whole level's timing, so it's good to switch it up a little bit. This part will definitely need some adjusting because it's like very difficult and a little bit annoying. All right, well, this is all I have time for today. I got a lot of catching up to do, but hey, this is not going too bad. Alright, so now we gotta structure this labyrinth part to be kind of confusing. So we'll add like a few grassy hills within the part. And then I got started on these kind of stone ruin-like structures. I think I'll still want to include like a little bit of trees here, kind of growing in and out. So I'm kind of just adding a bunch of these slim rocks. And then I worked on some big walls to connect the stone platforms together. And then I didn't have much time to build today, so that was kind of about it. Alright, what's up everybody? It's kind of been like a week since I last built, because, you know, I was low-key busy and stuff. I'm just gonna copy and paste. Alright, cool. I finished like the base structuring for this part. Once again, we're using our edit color trigger to make this part feel more atmospheric. I also designed this part to go from low sunset to complete nighttime because I thought that'd be cool. Alright, this part's getting kind of nice and dark and scary. Here we added some pulses that kind of flash of the song. It's kind of spooky, you know. And I think it's cool. I think it makes the part feel a lot more alive. We'll put in the placeholder guy. There'll be a cool transition here though in the future. Alright, and now we can move on to part 4. We're a few seconds away from making the drop, which I'm excited to make that gameplay and excited to tell you all about the deco ideas I have for the drop. We'll talk about it once we get there. Alright, this gameplay, it is coming along a bit here. Now we're getting our spikes around here. Yep, we are making this pretty damn difficult. It's just way too difficult. Yeah, these 2 spider clicks are way too hard. Alright, well that's gonna be all for tonight. But yeah, we've done quite a bit today. That was a good day. Well everyone, our first week of building this level has been complete. I have a couple more important things to say, but I'd like to show you a little showcase of what we have so far, so enjoy.
Find your way into this wonderland. Cross the maze, the dark, the innocent. Chase the faith, the thrill, the heaven sent. I got you wild upside down. The labyrinth will guide you far away to the place where senses will decay. Your goals
Well, that's all we made so far. Sorry it's not much, but this was more of an introduction to the project, but next episode we will get more done. This will be an insanely long journey, obviously, and I want to showcase my absolute entire journey, so you may want to stick around to witness it all perchance. And due to this being such a huge project, I'm not going to force myself to only build this level. This will basically be something I work on whenever I feel excited to, which could mean I'm constantly working on it or I take small breaks to make other things, we'll see. And worst case, if the standard of main list becomes too hard for me, I can always find a verifier as a last resort, but of course, I'll avoid doing that unless absolutely necessary. Anyways, if you'd like to see what happened when I turned a random click pattern to a fully decorated top 1 challenge, you can check out this video right here, and here are more cool videos you might enjoy in the meantime. Anyways, I hope you all are excited to see this evolve, because I can't wait to work on it some more, and see ya next time.